Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Intuitive Wisdom Tarot. I'm Jen, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're finding this, you are meant to be here now. We are in waning moon energy, and we're going to check in with the messages for water signs. This is not the time to push. It's the time to release. This energy is soft, it's reflective, it's that deep exhale your body has been asking for since the full moon. Not everything is meant to go with you into this next chapter, and that's not failure, that's alignment. So as we move into this reading, I want you to take a second, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and come back into your body. And ask yourself honestly, what am I holding on to out of habit, fear, or comfort that I know I've outgrown? Be sure to tap like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love connecting with you. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and jump in. Excuse me. Pulling a Wisdom of the Oracle to get a general energy for water signs around this waning moon energy. Let's see what's coming through for water signs. Thank you, Spirit. We are getting for you deep knowing. Card number 43. So a big message that came through right away is if we take the number 4 and 3 and we add it, it becomes 7. 7 is a number of spirituality, of introspection, of really deep reflection within yourself. So there is a deep knowing. What's coming to the surface is, again, you asking questions, and they're pretty deep around life, around yourself, but there's a deep knowing that you have, and it's inside, and again, it's rising to the surface. There's a lot of needing to trust yourself. So let's see what message is coming through with deep knowing. All right. The essential meanings: intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. The oracle message: intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or 5 senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You're now invited into the sacred dialogue of deep knowing. So tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. So again, a big emphasis on spirituality, on connecting with you and your higher self, you and your source, the divine. And again, there's a real deep energy that I'm feeling that is really connected to your purpose, what you're incarnated here to do. And so you have some questions. Ask, sit quiet, and see what comes through. All right, water signs, we're going to jump into tarot. Let's see what messages are coming through for this waning moon energy. All right, what messages are for water signs? Thank you, Spirit. And we are getting for you the Ace of Swords. This is the energy that you are meant to embody or are embodying as you move in through this waning moon cycle. We have the Three of Pentacles. This is the energy you're needing to release. We have the Wheel, which is the energy you are needing to lean into. And advice from Spirit is the Knight of Cups. So, again, I'm getting that understanding of, again, seeking clarity on yourself, the bigger picture. Maybe a group that you are associating with, could be your family, could be a soul tribe, could be who you work with. But again, this wheel is turning, and there are messages coming through. So let's see what we have. On the bottom of the deck, we are starting with the 10 of Swords. This is the energy that is underneath it all. And this is an energy of endings and beginnings. Swords are all about the mind, about the intellect. So I'm getting someone who's really up in their head about old chapters, old cycles, things that have come to the end. 10 is the end, but if we take 1 plus 0, that's 1. Again, a new beginning. And we do have clarity. We do have an ace here. So again, it's this energy of ending something well. This something could have been very toxic. There could have been some deceit, some really lower vibrational energies that you had to work through. But again, that is dead, done, and over. And Spirit is saying, release that. Release it, end it well. Really be introspective. Again, you have a deep knowing. There's just this energy that you are questioning, am I ready? What is that what was the purpose and reason for some of those negative things, like those harder things to deal with? Why was it that I had to go through that? Because there's messages and there's things that are needing to be learned, right? Digested, the lesson, because that is what you're going to be utilizing as you move forward on this new path, right? This new intellectual, this new clarity. And there's a victory along with this. So waning moon energy is the perfect time to really, again, ask yourself, what are you holding on to out of habit, fear, or comfort, right? This was that old cycle. What are you holding on to? What have you outgrown? What has run its course? And those are the things where you have gratitude, right? That deep knowing of this was here serving a purpose, and now it's time to be let go. Now, the energy that you are embodying or needing to embody as you start this new path is the Ace of Swords. Clarity, right? Downloads. I'm really getting, again, a real big connection with that deep knowing. You have a very deep knowing on what you need to do to quiet your mind, quiet your body, quiet your environment, so that you can receive those answers to the questions that you are seeking, right? And it's a bigger picture. There is again, you really questioning, like, what is my purpose? And you have a knowing. You go, okay, I know that that's my purpose, but there's a second guessing that's coming in that I'm feeling. And that has to do with that old cycle. It has to do with the confidence or the cut to your confidence that some of you water signs have felt, right? Because that old cycle was difficult. But Spirit is saying it's time for you, because I am coming in with a gift, right? A brand new spark, a brand new inspiration, a brand new idea. And it's your job to bring it down, your job to digest it through your lens, right? Your experiences, all of those things that you have gone through to really know, like, I have a deep knowing that this is how it's supposed to materialize when it comes through, right? And it's through my lens that is needing to be that viewpoint. right? So, again, your energy right now is that of stilling your mind, right? Getting quiet. If you haven't cultivated a practice of mindfulness or a practice of meditation, maybe prayer, maybe walking meditation, Spirit is really asking you to do that, because Spirit is speaking to you so that these things can come through you. But there is, again, this energy of it's almost like again, this journey that you have been on, right? There's an anger. There is a frustration that you have with yourself because your viewpoint of the outcome did not match what has actually happened through this journey. So that is where you are clearing out that mind. Again, a big emphasis on writing. Write that old story out. Write those old fears and thoughts, the things that have gotten ruminating through your mind. Write those out and release them. Again, when I always suggest writing it out, don't worry about spelling or what you're writing. Use the words that are really expressive and expressing how you feel, how you think, all of that. And then you take that and you rip it up and you throw it away. It's the process of you letting these thoughts, right, that are ruminating in your mind, the feelings that are attached to the thoughts, because that's inside your body. And again, I'm getting not only just clearing the mind, but clearing the body so you can start over. Self-talk is really coming through as well. So be aware. If you don't have even an awareness of what you're saying to yourself throughout the day, that is where you start. Just start being cognizant of what is it that I say. Like if I make a mistake or something happens and it doesn't go the way that I have envisioned it, what do I tell myself? Do I berate myself, or do I say, do you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll get through this. We'll figure it out. So a real big energy of, if you are a water sign that is not here yet in the space of having a clear mind, so these downloads and these ideas and these inspirations can come through for this brand new journey, then you are to cultivate practices that are clearing body, spirit, mind, so that you can receive those messages, right? Really look at your self-talk, really look at mindsets, how you're communicating. If you are wanting to be a leader and you are walking around with a hunched back and you're dressing not professional, that message is not matching what you are wanting to bring in and manifest. So embody what that is. Mind, that mindset. How would somebody in this position, or somebody with this family, or somebody with this idea be acting, thinking, speaking, and embody that? That is because you are needing to release some energy and some emotions that have been around. Very well could be your family, right? I just got a big family. There was a cycle, and it could have been a 10-year cycle, because we have the 10 of Swords here, where you have you're estranged from a family member or a group or a family, and there has been some real like toxic things that have happened. It's important for you to heal that, to let it go, right? To release that energy in whichever way. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to go and talk to that person, because it's for you to release. So look at, again, that situation. Okay, we kind of have three people here, so it could have been a third party situation, could have been with a family member, maybe a relationship. But your job is to see what was your role in it. Okay. Yes, we could feel hurt and betrayed because of what they did. However, you also had a role in that. So, just to bring understanding, to be able to clear some of those things that may have, that could still be residual energies. What were the things that you could have done that betrayed and hurt? And it's not to blame anybody, but it's to understand the situation. It's really to look at it and go, yeah, that was a situation. I played a role, they played a role, and how did that triangle, right? That cycle, that circle, that journey pan out, right? And again, it's to release that energy because I'm feeling a block when it comes to, it could be your career, right? Pentacles are about like finances. It's about career, your workspace. It could be your family, right? You building something, but there's kind of a block. And it's based on this old cycle, and this energy needs to be released. Now, again, there's this deep knowing that you may have, right? It could be, yeah, they were more at fault, whatever it was, like you place it where it resonates. However, I have a deep knowing that what I did and how I showed up was exactly the way it needed to be, right? I have a deep knowing that my choices on how I've created it, is exactly where it needs to be. I just need to release, right, that energy so that I can release that block so I can move forward. Because this is also a card of building. It's a card of working, collaborating, and that's what you're seeking, right? So you being able to work through what this cycle was, whether it is you face to face with the people that you're estranged with and you hash it out, right? You have a conversation, you work on figuring out like what were the things, or you are, I'm getting, so there's a therapeutic type of technique, and it's called the empty chair, and it's where you sit in a chair and you actually play the roles of the people that have been involved in the situation, and that could very well be what you do to be able to do that. Now, I mean, you could very well be in therapy, and that's why I'm picking that up, and that's something that you have, again, somebody to help with that. But you could very well, again, in a safe way, be able to say, okay, I'm going to do some mirror work. I'm going to pretend like I'm having a conversation. What would that person say? What would you say? It could be something that you write out. It could be like a level of creativity. Again, there's a level of creativity with this card as well. 3 is expansion and creativity. You could write a narrative, a story. Again, make it creative, like let it flow, and then that could be the basis of something that you're creating. So utilize these things and make your healing journey like fun and creative. Healing is a very difficult thing, right? And when we face it with like that doom and gloom, right, that it makes it, we're creating a resistance. So what Spirit is really saying is release the energy, but release it in a way where it's inspiring, right? Again, you have this purpose. Maybe this narrative turns into a story that you write. And that's really what you're doing. You're wanting to do that, and that's the block. So really focus on this this cycle with these people, whatever, again, place it where it resonates. Could be your family, could be your career, could be in something that you've just lost, right? Your maybe a job, or you've changed companies. But look at that. What was your role? What was their role? Do some healing work to be able to either get together with them and hash it out, right? Or utilize you, right, in a creative way to write out what does that narrative look like? What is that dialogue? Do some mirror work, do some empty chair, just so that you can break free, right? Because this block is going to help open and expand something that you're materializing, right? This nudge, this idea is coming through and you are needing to materialize, but there's something in the way of it. So during this waning moon energy, use that to break free, to heal through that. Now, the energy you're needing to lean into is the wheel. This is another 10, right? So this is the old cycle is over. Lean into like shifting. Now, we don't always have control of the wheel, but we do have control on how we flow with it. Do we resist the change? Do we curse at it and say, oh, this is not what I want? Or do we flow with it, and do we allow it, and do we approach it with curiosity? And that's really for those of you, because again, we're getting this pretty tough cycle, right? Use the reflection of how you showed up for that as, again, what I'm digesting, what I'm deeply knowing and understanding, what messages are coming through spirit to say, this next cycle, how am I going to balance my light and shadow? How am I going to take those things that were tough, that were those lower vibrational situations, and turn them into something that's helping me? Again, I'm getting this big purpose, right? There's a lot of things where you are questioning because I'm healing this, I'm releasing it, I'm letting it go. And now it's time for me to start something new. And you're ready. Water signs, you're ready. That's a big energy that I'm getting. You're tired of being tired. You're tired of being bogged down with this energy. You're tired of having these things that are ruminating right through your mind, your head, about this old cycle. And you're like, I'm just releasing it. What is it that you can do to really help get this wheel where you're flowing with what's happening? Because this is also all about abundance, good luck, good fortune. The wheel is spinning in your favor. So use that energy and allow that energy to come through. And use it again to heal. Use it to know, like, hey, I'm going to trust myself, right? That could very well be what you do when you go through and do some reflection, right? What habits, fears, and what habits are you holding on to because of fear or comfort? What are the things that you've outgrown? Those are the things that you say, okay, I'm rewriting my story. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to go do some exercise. Like I'm getting somebody that goes and does some HIIT, right? Some high intensity interval. Maybe it's now time for you to start walking because you want to start running, right? There's this energy of not only are you clearing your mind, but you're clearing your body. Do some vinyasa yoga, right? So those are a lot of things that you're allowing that energy to flow. That stuff that was stuck, those things that are blocked, you're allowing it to go because the wheel is spinning in your favor and there's a brand new cycle starting. Now, advice from Spirit is the Knight of Cups. It is time for you to fall in love with life. It is time for you to go on a quest of being romantic, being doing gestures that are pure and loving, and it's following your heart. And now this could very well be maybe a relationship. Again, could have been that third party. And now it's time to really like fall in love again, right? If that's where you're at. If it's something that's ended, like you are your own knight in shining armor. You are the person that needs to romanticize. Go and do fun things, right? You always wanted to go eat at that restaurant. Go do that. You've always wanted to go on that trip. Go book that flight. Go to those spaces, right? You always wanted to hang out with those people. Go do that, because this is that energy that is, again, it's not only feeling that block, right, and using your body to go and shift that energy to get some of those stagnant things from that old cycle out, but you are doing that with your heart too. And water signs, that is, you are intuitive, you're heart based. You are the feelers, you are the romantics. And that is really a big energy coming through. You be your own knight in shining armor. You be your own romantic. Do the things that you are seeking, right? So when we think about relationships, and this can be with anything, it could be a relationship with life, it could be a relationship with a person, it could be a relationship with a thing. There's always like a reciprocity that goes through. And we teach others how we need to be loved by our actions, by the way we speak, what we do, what we accept, how we allow, what we allow in our lives. And so what I'm getting from here, Spirit is saying you need to be reflective on how are you teaching others the way you love. Are you, again, walking with a hunched back and really withdrawn, but you want to be bold and assertive? You are the one that gets to show that, right? Stand up tall, right? Go get a massage, get your body, get all of that residual out, and then walk the walk, talk the talk, love the way you want to be loved, right? Speak in the ways that you want to be spoken to. Be that which you want in return, because if you embody that energy is what you are sending out into the universe, right? Everything is, we are constantly manifesting our own realities. And so the universe is always ready and willing to, I see that's what I'm doing. So they'll pick up on those vibes and they're going to send it back. If you are contradicting, right? You are wanting one thing, but you are acting in this way, or you're vibing in this way, then that's where you are getting back those vibes. So check your vibe. Fall in love with life. That is your advice from Spirit. And again, I'm getting back in my mind that message of check your vibe, right? Vibe high, vibe in love, follow your heart, speak in the ways that the person you are wanting to be loved like, speak in those ways, right? Be your own knight in shining armor. All right, water signs, we are going to end with a mindful practice, a way to cultivate calm, to live intentionally, and a way that you can really allow yourself to live the best life. Let's see what we're getting for you. All right. Yes to yoga. Yoga is a fantastic way to simultaneously focus body and mind, leaving you with a newfound sense of positivity and connection. I have to tell you this, you are the third reading this week that has gotten this card to cultivate calm. So yoga, again, is not just you tying yourself into knots, but it's a mind, right? It's the way you think. It's how you, again, heal your mind, allow your mind to clear, right? Body, mind, heart connection. So what I was getting off of that, again, maybe some of you need to go do some vinyasa yoga. That is because it's a flow, right? And you're needing to get into a flow. You're needing to flow with what the wheel's doing. You need to, again, maybe that's that nudge. Maybe you're supposed to go on out and take yoga training and become a yoga teacher, right? Get some of those old things out. You could also, again, look at restorative or yin yoga. Those are where you are in your postures, you're in a deep state of gratitude for your body, you're allowing tension to be released. And maybe you do some nidra yoga where you're really focusing on that mind. It's a meditation, it's allowing you to get quiet for those new ideas coming through spirit. So water signs, you are to cultivate a practice of yoga to really help calm, to unify the body, mind, and spirit. All right, water signs, that's what I have for you for this waning moon energy. Please let me know in the comments if there's any feel-good vibes I can send your way, and I'll surely do that. Until we meet again, with much love and appreciation, be well. Till next time, bye-bye.